Hello and welcome to this week's Cari Connects. I'm Psychic Medium Cari Mugz, and each week I pull a card from a deck to let you know what's coming up for the week and the signs and symbols to watch for. If you're listening to this on my Spunky Spirit podcast, you can watch it on my YouTube or my TikTok at Cari Mugz, my Instagram at spirit.medium.cari Mugz, and my Facebook at Spunky Spirit. And as always, if you're watching this, it's most likely meant for you, but always take what resonates with you and leave what doesn't. And I have my class this weekend in Idaho Falls for in-person class. Actually, if you want to tap into it online, you can too. I'm kind of going to Zoom it at the same time for a few people. So if you want to do that, let me know. DM me and let me know. But this weekend, I am teaching a class about your spirit guides and how to connect to them and how to know that it's them. So it's actually an awesome class. So if you're interested, I think there's 3 more spots in person. And if you're interested online, DM me at one of my, or email me at Cari@carimugz.com, CARIMUGZ.com. Okay, so this week we are using the Sacred Power reading cards by Anna Stark. It's been a long time since I've used these cards. I love this because on the back of each card is the flower of life. It's a sacred geometry symbol. It's supposed to be a symbol that's in every living thing. So it's actually cool. If you don't know what sacred geometry is, I suggest you Google it. You'll go down a rabbit hole. It's actually pretty cool. So, okay, let's pull for this week. Oh, energy balance. That's actually really cool. So this week, you might feel a little off kilter as far as energy goes. You might feel a little unbalanced as far as your energy goes. You might be a little bit in a lower frequency, or you might be a little bit kind of dragging or tired. If you're like that, you need to do an energy balance. That means you need to either meditate, journal, connect to spirit in a way that makes you feel good. So this week's going to be a lot about connecting, which you can do through meditation, breath work, just sitting in nature, grounding, anything that makes you feel like you're closer to spirit or your guides, or just connected to your soul, just connected to your higher self. Now, when people say you need to connect to your higher self, it always is your soul, who you are at your core, your authentic self. So balancing your energy this week means you need to take a check and say, okay, who am I? Am I stepping in my true power? Am I being authentic to myself? What is not working for me and what is? Is this job working for me? Is this relationship working for me? This is the week where you're going to do your checks and balances. You're going to check and see where you're sitting at emotionally, spiritually. And I don't ever believe that everything is going to be balanced at all times. There's always going to be one thing off kilter a little bit. There's physical, mental, and spiritual. And one thing, maybe sometimes that's all completely aligned, but it doesn't last very long. So give yourself some grace and know that there's never going to be a time where you're completely automatically aligned with everything at once. But it is a good week. This is going to be a week where you're going to have to check into that, and you're going to have to check and say, okay, what is not working for me physically, mentally, and spiritually? And what do I need to just really check in with yourself? Because a lot of times we just go the same thing every day and do the same thing every day, and we don't really check into checks and balances, what's working for us and what's not. And we kind of know what's not, but we don't want to give it up, or we don't want to stop it, or we don't want to acknowledge it. That's kind of like the denial card we had a few weeks ago. So this week, spiritually, just saying, check your energy, balance your energy, make sure that you don't have to be 100% in all of them, but just make sure that you're at least in some sort of a balance that works for you. So energy balance, that's just going to be this week. Make sure you tap into yourself. It's a little bit like self-care, but you don't have to go out and do energy work. I mean, you could, that could be a way, but honestly, this is an inside job. It's not an outside job. This is you checking. Spirituality is always an inside job. Other things that you do to help it, like crystals and Reiki and any kind of energy work, that helps it, but really it's an inside job. So obviously the signs and symbols are going to be the chakra signs, any type of meditation sign, the flower, the lotus is going to be a sign. And this doesn't have any numbers, but I think for balance, let's do, let's do 000, because that is one that number sequence means that you were loved and you were guided by the divine and by your spirit guides. Also, too, 111. So 000 and 111. 111 means you're raising your frequency. You're aware of your spirituality. You're aware of what's going on around you spiritually and inside of you. So those are the signs and symbols. Chakras, meditation signs, stretching, the lotus, the flower lotus, any type of rainbow I think would be good too. And 111 and 000. So I hope that helps you guys. I love you so much. And just check in with yourself this week. Give yourself some love and know that sometimes it's not always rainbows and roses. It's not always balance, but when you work at it and really think about it and really tune into it and try, it's all about you, right? Like if you ignore it and you just try and not be balanced or not work on those things, spirituality and all of these things is just like going to the gym, physical. You've got to work on it. And so sometimes you just kind of let it go and you just go with the flow. And this week you got to be aware. You got to be in tune with who you are. Be your authentic self and check your balances and make sure that you're in balance. Because if Spirit's wanting you to balance, that means something bigger is coming for you and you need to be in that balance. So anytime you see these signs this week, that just means to make sure, take a deep breath, make sure you're in balance. It could be a sign that if you just leave your job and you're not in balance and Spirit's like, check your balances, it could just be showing you that something that in your life is not working for you, something that you need to, that maybe you've been thinking, okay, do I need to change this? And you do. So that would be a good number too, is 555, 000, 111, and 555. So I love you guys so much, and I will see you next week.